It is June. It's beautiful out. Welcome to the Pull Factor podcast. I'm Amelia Waters. I run Dual Strength Strategies, web development, and social media. I do all the heavy lifting when it comes to digital marketing. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Andrea Seeger-Doring, founder of the Marketing Drill and Team Up to 10X, here for all of your solopreneur, small business, and now medium business marketing needs.
And I will be using you for the medium business because I'm there.
Oh, yeah, you betcha.
So this morning, we're going to talk about some burnout, right? That work-life balance, solopreneur life, doing everything, all the things, all the time, working 24/7. I find as a digital marketer, I'm on my phone 7 days a week. And that is a service I provide people, is engagement for social media. I'll answer your messages, I'll answer your comments. And, I've been reading some life coaches. I don't know if you know Jay Shetty, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I got his newsletter and he's like, we're expected to be plugged in 7 days a week. And this is why we're all burnt out. And I'm like, yep, that is exactly what I needed to hear. So, I need to really take more time to step away from the computer and the phone and recharge my own battery. I hit a wall this week and I'm mentally exhausted.
Oh, yeah. This is such a common thing for entrepreneurs, especially solopreneurs like us, because we're doing all of the things and the business can't run without us yet. Right. And I say yet because we should have a plan to be able to step back from the business. And so you can recharge your batteries more and spend more time on other streams of revenue too. But, let's get to the root of the burnout, Val, right?
Yep.
Why are we on our phone 7 days a week? Why are we doing this? Why are we sacrificing that much of our time? And are we matching our pricing with the value of that? Right. And the answer is often no. I've been there. Sometimes I'm still there, right? Because I'm a giver, right? And I have such a soft spot for the solopreneur, especially the struggling solopreneur. I see myself like 8 years ago in that person. And I'm like, I want to help you. And I give. And then I realize, whoa, okay, I'm robbing from myself right now. So boundaries are a big part of that, right? And, but really getting to the root of the burnout. Why am I doing this when I know it drains me? And then how can we make little shifts to do things that fill our cup, not just drain it?
Yeah.
So I got very coachy for a minute.
This is why I love working with you and talking with you, because you're a wonderful source of information and support. So I know for me, self-care doesn't always have to cost money. I think we think, oh, I have to go on a vacation, I have to have a spa, I have to get my nails done. And I think you and I have been through times where we've been really broke, pinching pennies, rubbing pennies together.
Oh, yeah.
And I know for me is a nature walk. There are plenty of parks here in upstate New York that you can walk through that are beautiful, especially this is my favorite time of year, Gemini season. Everything's in full bloom. We have the full summer ahead of us. I just love it. And so that's one thing. Sometimes I'll take myself to dinner, take myself to lunch. And sometimes it's just, staying in and watching old reruns of Seinfeld on Netflix, and just having that, getting some takeout, which does cost a little bit of money. But I remember too, is, sometimes getting that $20 or $40 together for a pedicure, just to have it. Just little things, or buying a face mask. Ulta Beauty is always having sales. As a woman, I love pampering myself. I'm into beauty, but and it's nice. And sometimes we live near two major cities. If you have the ability to drive to New York City or take the train, or to Boston or Vermont, Vermont's a little bit more feasible, I think, a little bit more nature. And so I really had to learn to take care of myself without spending a ton of money. I didn't have a choice many years ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And speaking of free and low cost ways and tying it in with Jay Shetty, I use the Calm app. And he has the Daily J in there, which is really nice.
Good,
There's
yeah.
also other, if you're not a Shetty fan, there's a bunch of other like mentor type people. I do the Daily Trip. And it's just like a 10-minute meditation. They have music in there that can help you focus. You could just play while, and it's infinite music, just on a constant loop. I'll put that on and I get in a zone, man.
Okay.
And it really helps me stay energized while I'm working. And taking these little moments, I mean, I think everyone knows at this point, I've got like a million kids, right? So it means downtime is at a premium. And so Thursdays are by far, and I just did an Instagram post about this, they're my longest days. It starts at 7 a.m. with a BNI meeting and it ends around 8:30, 8:45 p.m. And I've got in that time a string of client meetings and then a quick dinner. And then I have to bring Julia to gymnastics.
Mhm.
During gymnastics, the AirPods go in. First of all, it's really noisy in there. And like, I just need that noise canceling feature, if anything. I turn on the Calm app and I play Chopin in the Rain.
Okay.
And it sounds like woo woo or maybe even a little overly bougie, but it is just so calming. And you hear the sound of the pitter patter of the rain and the piano. And then I'm able to just kind of zone out and read, or I've got these mala beads that I wear on my wrist.
Okay.
And I use that. I have ADHD, so it's really hard for me to be super focused on my breaths.
Mhm.
So that helps me count my breaths as I do it. And I'll just practice box breathing. And I've taken something that used to drain me and turned it into more of a restorative practice.
Mhm.
And it really helps me because, like, even when I come home from that, it's almost 7:30 and I've got to jump into an 8 o'clock meeting. It really helps just kind of refill my cup to get through the rest of the day. And I found with that practice, I'm in a much better mood on Friday morning,
Yeah.
So finding those times, sometimes just sitting there, listening to Chopin in the Rain, wherever you are, take advantage of those little times where you don't have to be fully present in your environment and you can kind of take a step back and do some stuff for yourself.
Yeah. I think for me too is, what I feed myself. I'm a personal trainer, so I'm balancing Mondays and Tuesdays can be long days for me because like Tuesday mornings, I have my Gold Star group at 8:45, and then I'm at the gym until 8:30 at night because I have a late night client. So those 12-hour, 13-hour days. Um, and I've just recently narrowed down my hours at the gym too. I had to. And I have 11 clients at the gym.
Wow.
I have 11 women at the gym, which is wonderful. And I love all of them. And I don't want to let anyone down. I love it
Mm.
there. I don't want to leave anybody because
Think
I love
about
it.
what you just said. I don't want to let anyone down,
Yeah.
right? I think that's why we burn ourselves out. We don't want to let anyone down. For me, it's a fear of failure. I
Yep.
have this recording in my head that I've played over and over again. You're gonna fail.
Yep.
You're gonna fail. And
Yep.
literally how I feel whenever there's an ebb in business or whatever, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
And then I like quick get into hustle mode and then it leads to burnout for me.
Yep. I fear if I take a day off, all my clients are gonna leave. They're gonna be like, "Oh, she took a day off. We're done."
Yeah.
It's so,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking about that. Like, say it out loud. I'm like, that's so silly and irrational, you know?
Yeah. That's it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because
Yep.
it's got us to where we are.
Mhm.
Uh, but we also need to take a step back and realize that we're not doing our clients any favors if we burn ourselves out and
That's a
have
good point.
nothing left to give them.
Yep.
Can't pour from an empty cup.
Nope. Nope, we can't.
Yeah.
Can't. And that's why it's also nice to have other good support, and particularly female support, for me, and having someone like you that I can call, having other women other entrepreneurs I can bounce things off with, um, and just having also friends in my social life. And it's something I realized earlier this month, I'm like, I don't have much of a social life because right now, because the first half of the year I had knee surgery. And
Mm.
so I was focusing on that. Well, now I'm out of the woods with that. I can walk normal. I have like 90% there, just rebuilding the strength in my left leg. But I have a good friend. I have some good friends that can be a little draining themselves. And I love them and I adore them. But I'm like, you know what? I need to limit my time with that person. So I'm at the point where I'm like, and I don't know if you follow astrology, but Gemini is about relationship building. And it was funny that we hit Gemini season and all of a sudden I'm like, I need more friends. I need to build my social life. And, looking at my relationships, and I've been working with a wonderful life and business spiritual coach. And I really look at my birth chart. I don't know if you follow any of that stuff.
I
Um,
don't, but I
okay.
love that you do. So I can learn
Yes.
more about it from
Yes.
you.
You learn a lot, Andrea, and I can give you some websites where you plug in your birth date and your birthplace, and you can see in your human design what makes you tick and
Right.
what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And when we look at my natal chart, Gemini is in third house, which probably doesn't mean anything to you, but looking at that, and I remember I did her course, and it literally laid out that according to my birth chart, I will work in media, which is what I've been doing and have done. Personal training came up. It's like an outline of who you are.
Wow.
And so she taught me some feng shui, and I can teach you some stuff too, about how to attract more business, how to keep issues away from the business. And it's worked. It's worked. And I've been busier than I've ever been. So I'm more than happy to share that with you, outside the podcast, or we can do a podcast on it. Feng Shui is no secret. So it's just been, but I think that manifestations worked. And so now I'm like, oh, okay, careful what you wish for. Because now here I am, like, mentally exhausted and drained. And I have a client texting me at 10 o'clock at night who probably feels the same way. So it's coaching her down.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And that is it just starting with being mindful and paying attention to how you're coping with the stress
Yes.
can be super helpful. Once you're aware of it, then you can start practicing ways to
Yes.
change it, or alternative ways to cope and stuff like that. It's first having that awareness, because we're not always aware of our behavior and our patterns.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would, and like, really, like, what are you telling yourself? What is this story? And is that story bullshit?
Mm,
Because it probably is.
yep.
No one who works as hard as we do fails in the
That's
long
true.
run,
That's
right?
true. Yep.
Right? Like, no one who does the things that we do ends up completely broke.
No.
Like, we're gonna make it. It's just this journey that we're on, and we got to take a step back and kind of look at the journey from a bird's eye view sometimes, and realize this is just a blip in the radar. This is something I may not even remember 2 years from now. And why am I allowing it to consume my day?
Mhm.
Why does it have a stranglehold on my emotions right
Yeah.
now? Why am I anchoring my self-worth to this?
Yeah.
I've done that, right?
I think a lot of entrepreneurs do, because our business can be a part of our identity. And
Yeah.
so it's an extension of who we are. We don't just collect a paycheck at a 9 to 5. And there's nothing wrong with collecting a paycheck at 9 to 5, but yeah, I think it's being enmeshed and taking a step back and being like, you know what, I'm a whole person without my business. You know, if for whatever reason it fails, I have plenty of skills to go out and get a wonderful job. I know that. You know, I was watching I'm on TikTok a lot, and there's a man I follow. He's a millionaire, and he gets asked questions. If you lost everything today, what would you do? And he said, get into digital marketing. That was one of the things. Like, there's investments, that's the long run. You know, he gave a couple advice, but he's like, I would get into digital marketing. And I'm like, yep, it's true, you know. So it's and for me, I just have to remember one day at a time. You know, I put expectations on myself, and it's just one day at a time. And I actually worked with a wonderful life coach yesterday. It was just a one-to-one, but she did help me. And you know, I have another thing that's weighing on me. I have two elderly cats, and my 16-year-old cat, his liver is failing, and he's on supportive care, just a lot of anti-diarrhea, anti-vomiting, and because he got sick yesterday, and I was just very upset because I've had him since he was 7 weeks. And she reminded me, she's like, it's out of your control when it's his time.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good point,
Yeah.
because of course I want him to live for much longer, but I don't know if he'll make it to the end of
Yeah.
the year.
I'm actually in a very similar boat as you. My dog, he's 13 and he has cancer, and we're dealing with his decline right now, and he's losing weight. And it's so hard to have to navigate these things, but it is part of this circle of life.
Yeah.
And you mentioned control, right? We we always panic when we feel like we're not in control. I always say, like, if you're in a car and all of a sudden there's no windows or no doors, right? I bet you'd be wearing your seatbelt, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right? You'd be doing whatever you can to hang on to whatever's in that car. And it's because you feel less control.
Yeah.
And uh, when we're in situations like this, I always do a mental inventory. What's in the bucket of things I can't control? What's in the bucket of things I can control? I can't control the fact that my dog is going to die probably before the end of the summer. What I can control is how he spends the rest of his days.
Yes.
I can control uh, how we soak up these memories and we take lots of pictures with them, and
Yeah.
we can control those things. Same thing in our business, right? We can't control whether or not a client leaves us. We'd like to think we can, and we can certainly do things to try and make them stay, but if we do too much, then we're teaching them the wrong boundaries, right?
That's true too. Yeah.
And so what we can control is the boundaries we set,
Yeah.
the quality of our offering,
Yeah.
communication with the client about the value that we're bringing to them. And ultimately, sometimes clients are meant to leave.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
You can't, and I realized yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I can't help every single, there are people who are going to leave. There's people that are just going to do what they want to do. You know, the man who last December, left that review, and, I can't control that.
Yeah.
And, it happens, it's
It
just part
does.
of being an entrepreneur. It's like, I think I see the meme, like, you're not pizza, you can't make everybody happy.
That's right. That's right.
You're not a pizza, so I
Yeah.
love pizza. So yeah, it's a good reminder that not everyone, and I think the more successful you are, the more critics you're going to have.
Yeah.
And as I said, my coach that I've been working with, Hey June, she's done really well for herself, and she has people come out of the woodworks. She does a lot of like YouTube lives, and she'll get a hater like, you're full of shit, and she just kicks them out like, yep, no. And because this woman I think she's amazing. I think she knows what she's talking about. And what I like about her is she used to work on Wall Street, so she has that kind of tough exterior,
Mm,
but she knows her stuff and she knows how to make you successful. So
I
yeah,
love that.
I'll share some stuff with you around that, what I've learned with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, think about that. Like when you're burning yourself out, is it because you're trying to control stuff that you can't necessarily control?
Yeah.
Are you doubling down in areas where maybe you shouldn't be? Um, that's my MO. I've done that chronically,
Yep.
and I'll still like I I pride myself on my ability to grind. I
Yeah.
can eat a shit sandwich better than anyone. I really can. And it's like part superpower, but could also be my biggest downfall
Kryptonite.
because I'm able to do things that a lot of people aren't willing to do.
Oh,
It's part of what's made me successful, but it's also a big part of what's burned me out in the past. So I need to really check myself and make sure, am I doing this in a way that is supporting my goals? And if I catch myself going too far, then I just dial it back and I find alternatives. And I always try to take something, if I know something's going to drain me, like networking meetings drain me. I
mm.
enjoy them, but I'm exhausted at the end,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know. So if I do that, I need to complement it with something that fills my cup.
Yep.
So going for a long walk somewhere or taking pictures of flowers is like my new thing
Yep.
all of a sudden. I don't know why. Like I'll be on a long walk and I'm like, oh, that flower's so pretty. And I take a picture. And now that I'm making reels out of them and stuff, it's bizarre.
Hey,
But
I like your reels. I like that
oh,
you're getting more active. It's inspiring me to get active on my stuff. I have to.
thank you. And that is a great example though of how I'm finding time to put into that now
Yep.
in a way that's not draining me. I'm
Yep.
doing a lot of that stuff from the couch. And I'm actually connecting with my 12-year-old on this. She taught me how to use CapCut.
Yep.
And while most of these things are things that I would just delegate to someone else, and I probably will at some point, I knew I need to know the foundations of how this works and really practice it myself. And it's giving me an opportunity to connect with one of my kids and allow her to be the teacher. And I'm doing it from the couch. And I noticed when I give myself that space for downtime to just be, and there's no pressure to work or be on, it unlocks so much creativity.
Yep.
So it sometimes we just need to play around with how do we do this in a way that doesn't drain us. I never thought working from the couch would be something that wouldn't drain me, but making myself sit at the desk and do it during work hours is absolutely draining me, and it wasn't working.
Yep.
So just kind of playing around with how you work
Mhm.
in addition to what it is that you're doing can be huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, in conclusion, I
Mm,
think it's when in doubt, slow down,
yeah.
step away from the computer, the phone, your desk, meditate, I think it's called solfeggio frequencies. It's different frequencies, sound frequencies that help us deal with either anxiety or fear and anger. I've done those many times. Those have helped kind of relax my brain, my nervous system. Because it's actually, when cats, sound frequency is actually very healing. Um, when cats are injured, they purr because the frequency helps them heal and feel better.
Aw,
Yeah, it's a fact that I was like, that's a cool, because you think about it, when you see a cat injured, it will be purring.
yeah. And purrs
I
are
know
very
cat.
soothing.
Yes, yep, exactly. And that's why, I let my cat will sit right on top of me and purr. And, that's what's tough about seeing Tuna's decline is Tuna did that for me for
Oh,
16 years. And so yeah. So I won't get into that. I'll start crying again. But it's just been, I think in conclusion, there's plenty of resources to relax. It doesn't mean you have to take a $200 spa day. If you can afford that, great. nature walks, sound frequencies, YouTube videos, Calm app.
Yeah. Lock yourself in a closet, whatever. I've done it.
I don't have kids, but I get that. I get that. Yep.
Yeah, you
Disappear
got it.
for 10 minutes.
Yeah. What can you control? What can't you control?
Mm-hmm.
Start there
Yep.
and then just build up.
Yep.
Yeah. I love
Exactly.
it.
Love it.
Great talk today.
Good talk. Yes, I feel a little de-escalated.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm gonna actually my 10 a.m. appointment is another meditation. So well, thank you, Andrea. Thank you for chatting with me today.
Of course.
And yeah, until next time.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time.
Okay.